Hi, my name is Michael Buckley, and I stopped drinking alcohol, and so I wanted to make a video and tell you all about it.
To Michael Buckley.
So let's talk about it. So drinking. I actually made videos like a year ago when I was talking and I was sitting in the den and I was talking about cutting down on drinking, and I said something about the alcohol wasn't the problem, I was the problem. Oh, the alcohol was a problem. I was definitely deluding myself and deluding you, and I'd even see in the comments people would be like, he's an alcoholic and he doesn't realize it yet. And you know, if you follow me on my social media, how much I love vodka and Prosecco. So let's just tell you everything. I wrote a long Facebook post, so I have some notes in front of me, so if I'm looking down, it's at that. And I wasn't sure if I was gonna make a video about it, but I did on my personal Facebook page post about it, and like at least 10 people privately messaged me and they wanted to know more information and they wanted to talk about it more. And so I do see the value in making this video. Now, in 2015, if I had seen this video, I would have been like, ugh, or quitter, he's not gonna have fun, he's giving up drinking, like what, or he's an alcoholic, ugh, I'm not an alcoholic. So my relationship with alcohol, I was never a drinker. If I look back in college, I can tell you how many drinks I had. Drinking was not part of it. I was never drunk in college. I definitely got a later start drinking alcohol. I mean, there was like a cast party where I'd have wine coolers and maybe be a little tipsy, but there was never any sort of drunkenness or binge drinking in college. When I'd go out in my 20s, I would maybe have like a beer or like a White Russian. I don't remember drinking that much. Like it wasn't part of my life. Whereas now, it was such a part of my life. It was always like, where's the vodka? When's the open bar start? When's happy hour? Like, how many bottles of Prosecco are in the fridge? So I really didn't become a drinker until 36, 37 years old. I'm 42 now. And so that actually helped me stop knowing that, oh my God, there was so much life until 5 years ago that I was a heavy drinker. Around 2012, I started drinking heavily. My ex-husband and I had a home on Cape Cod, and I loved entertaining, I loved drinking. I'd been doing YouTube since around 2006 or 7, and it was pretty isolating, and suddenly around 2012, I had a lot of real-life friends, and drinking was a big part of it. I wrote in the post, I had the time, the money, and the lack of direction to fall into it. By 2014, my marriage was, you know, nearing its end. My career was very boring to me, and so I was definitely drinking to numb, to ignore my feelings, to avoid communicating properly with my ex-husband. And I knew what I was doing. I mean, I was very self-aware, so it wasn't like anything was I knew what was going on, but I was letting myself do it. And now in 2015, the divorce was final, I was celebrating single life, and the party continued, and I was deep in a YouTube funk, and I would rather do anything. Like, I'd love to just have a friend over, let's get day drunk. I would do anything to avoid making a stupid video about the Kardashians. And I wrote, this is such a dramatic sentence, but it's true. The online persona I had created taunted and tortured me. And so, you know, we've talked about this before, how I was kind of like not really in what the buck mindset, but yet I was still making these videos, so it was just like, oh God, find something else to do with your life. Okay, drink. My brain, the alcohol tricked my brain to thinking it was helping. Like, I was all like, oh, this is helping me, this is loosening me up, this is making me accept things more, this is making me, whoever the hell knows. I mean, alcohol brainwashes you, so now I'll talk about it later, but hold on. So, and then last spring, when I started making those videos and doing lots of self-improvement, I said I wanted to stop drinking, and so, but I really didn't want to stop drinking. I just, you know, so I was really like mental about it, and I thought about it a lot. Like last year, I thought about drinking all the time. I thought about stopping and what it would mean to my life and how much my identity is wrapped up in going out for drinks and how much my identity is inviting people over to have drinks. And I was praying about it, I was journaling about it, I was making videos about it, I was crying about it, I was obsessed with it. I took online quizzes. Do I have a drinking problem? Do I need to go to rehab? And spoiler alert, if you take a quiz online, do you have a drinking problem? You probably have a drinking problem. And by this point, I was never like a drink 1 or 3 drinks person. Like I was drink a 3 bottles of Prosecco person. I was, you know, vodka, 6, 7, you know, love to drink, love to party, love to get tipsy, all that stuff. And I was just a fast drinker, and I've talked about this before. Like, I drank soda fast, I drank water fast, I drank alcohol fast. Like, I was just a fast drinker, fast talker, fast drinker, fast, lots of things. And my tolerance was nuts. You know, like, even you'd see me at VidCon or Playlist Live, and you'd see all these people the next day, and they were like hurting, and they'd be like, "How are you, Buck?" And I'd be like, "I'm fine. You know, professional, I can drink." January of this year, you know, I launched my life coaching business, and things started going very well for me. I was making the money and having the success that I had not had in 3 to 4 years. I was happy, I was fulfilled, and yet I was still drinking a lot. I was behaving like 2015 me, but I was living a very different life. So it seems silly that 2017 me was still getting hammered. And in my brain, I started to think, a drunk YouTuber, that's fine. That's, you know, making videos, being fun, my drunk this, your drunk that. But a drunk life coach seemed not good. And I mean, I tell people why I stopped in this simple sentence, and this is the simple sentence, why I stopped drinking. Alcohol no longer served or suited me. That's the short answer. It's funny how when you ask, why did you break up with somebody? And you want the long story, or you want the short story? Why do I no longer drink? The sentence is, alcohol no longer served me or suited me. And so I started listening to a podcast about overdrinking, Brooke Castillo, the Life Coach School of Podcasting, and it was about overdrinking, and it was for people who don't consider themselves alcoholics, but they just want to cut down on drinking. Now, mind you, this woman who did the podcast, she talked about she just wanted to cut down on Chardonnay, but by the end of it, she was drinking no more, and she had no desire to drink. And she explained the animal brain craving alcohol versus the prefrontal cortex brain, and you can plan your drink. So you can drink 10 drinks, you just have to plan it, like, oh, I'm going out Saturday night, I'm gonna drink 10 drinks. That's it. So it's like Pavlov's dog, and you retrain your brain. Anyway, I don't want to be too technical about it, but my brain had done all this work anyway, and I had quit soda easily. I had quit fast food easily. So I knew by the time my brain, I was like, oh, I'm gonna stop drinking, that it was gonna be easy for me. And also, in terms of like stopping drinking and AA and all that stuff, I have many friends in AA. I have friends who've gone to rehab, and I understand that that's what they want and needed to do, and I don't devalue that at all. But for me, it was like I never could talk myself into doing that, and I don't. And it's funny because I know people will leave I've been asked comments, do you think you're an alcoholic? And my answer is, I don't define myself as an alcoholic. But if you consider me an alcoholic, that doesn't bother me. Like if you write in the comments, this guy's an alcoholic, it's not gonna bother me. It won't affect me. I just don't identify as an alcoholic, but I was definitely abusing alcohol, and I certainly drank as much and behaved so poorly and used alcohol problematically that would fit the definition of an alcoholic. But for my purposes in my brain, I don't define myself as an alcoholic, in case you were wondering. And also, I watched, you know, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills last year, and there was Eden talking about being a sober woman, and there's Kim Richards, who's such a mess, talking about sobriety, and I found it so tedious. And again, this is my own personal story in my own head. It made me want to drink. Like, I was like, these crazy bitches, like, they're so fucking annoying. It's like, I'm not inspired to stop drinking looking at them. I'm like, mind you, I think alcohol is the least of their problems, but that was just where I was at too. I was like, I'm not stopping drinking. I'm not gonna be one of these sober bitches. So anyway, fast forward to, I think, April or May, and I was life coaching a client whose wife was supposed to go to rehab in June, and we didn't talk about his wife that often, and I said, oh, did your wife ever go to rehab? And he said, oh no, we actually both read this book, and neither of us have any desire to drink alcohol anymore. And I just casually said, what's the name of the book? I wrote the book down, I ordered it, and then 2 days later, I stopped drinking. And the book is called Stop Drinking Now. I love the title, Stop Drinking Now, like that's it. The Alan Carr Easy Way, and that's it. 2 days later, I read the book, and I've become a happy non-drinker, and I love that's what it calls it in the book. And I love it, because again, like I said, I've given up nothing. Like I'm not depriving myself of alcohol. There's no willpower involved. Like when I tried to quit a year ago, it was a lot of willpower, and now it has been effortless. I can't even tell you. I continue to go out. I go to happy hour. I have friends over. The day I stopped drinking, I had like 3 bottles of Prosecco, 3 bottles of vodka in my fridge. Like last year when I tried to quit, I'm like, move all the alcohol out of the house. Take down pictures of me drinking. Don't trigger me. Nothing's gonna trigger me. Like I don't have any desire to drink. It's amazing. I've been to the airport where I used to get hammered. I'm like, oh my God, I would have spent like $200 right now. I will save, oh, I don't know, $10,000 this year in just drinking. So anyway, it's like nothing has really changed. I'm just not drinking, and it has been effortless. It has been easy. And in the book, it talks about do it with joy, which again, it's all the coaching stuff that I do. So like this book like hit me in all the right spots in the brain. So it was like starting from a place of joy and not dread, like, oh, I'm stopping drinking. This is terrible. My life is gonna be. I started reading the book from a place of joy and like, yes, this is gonna be so amazing. And then and like it talks about how alcohol brainwashes you, and it brainwashes you to thinking, oh, there I am and I'm having so much fun. Oh, but because I'm drinking. You're not having fun because you're drinking. You're having fun because you're with great friends having great conversation, or you're watching a great sunset, but you just happen to be drinking. But the alcohol has trained your brain to think it's the alcohol because that's the power of it. So I have simply retrained my brain, and it was easy. And again, I know that some brains aren't as, like my brain is very evolved and very coachable, and so I know some people are watching this and being like, maybe he didn't have a real problem, or he's gonna start drinking again tomorrow. But that's fine. Whatever you think of me is totally fine, not my business. But yeah, like this is just it, and I don't miss anything. I went out the next night. I had a party 2 days later. It's just great. Like, and I feel magical about it, and I'm constantly smiling. I watched a video where some guy said the great things that have happened and he's noticed in his life since he stopped drinking, and one of the things was he said he felt like he was high, like he felt like he was on drugs, and that's kind of how I feel too. Like I've just been, for the last like month or so, just giddy, just constantly just feeling so good about it and so aware, and the quality of my life has improved so much. And I don't even really think about alcohol, and I certainly don't crave alcohol. I was at a wedding with open bar this week. I didn't drink. You could offer me heroin right now. Like that's what alcohol is to me. Like I'm not gonna drink. And again, last year I would have been like, but I'm gonna go away this weekend. I'm used to being around all the people who are drunk, and it's like, oh, all these excuses and all these reasons. I don't need any. I could list 20 reasons why I stopped drinking. I couldn't come up with one more why to drink. Even to have one. If you're like, oh, just have one. I don't have any reason to have a drink. What, to fit in, to be social, I'm social. Like I have zero social anxiety, I have zero introvertedness. I'm gonna take off my shirt and talk about sex with strangers and be an idiot anyway. Like I certainly don't need the alcohol. So it's just, that's it. It's like I can't think of, that's why some people are like, oh, you'll have a drink here and there. I'm like, I don't want to. So anyway, I just wanted to make this video, and I have no regrets. Like I don't think, oh, I was a fun drunk. I was an affectionate drunk. It suited me to be a drunk for a couple years, and now it suits me not to be a drunk. So that's it. And it's a wonderful time in my life. And like I said in a video the other day, I alluded to it without saying, I'm so excited to present this version of myself to you, because I have a lot more to offer you. As a content creator and someone you're seeing on camera, this is the most authentic version you're gonna see of myself. And I am, no longer buffering with alcohol, and I'm totally, in total control of my thoughts, of my feelings, of my actions, of my outcomes. And so yeah, like, I don't know, alcohol was definitely a barrier between me and you and our relationship. And all my relationships, totally a barrier. Totally a barrier. Totally. Like, again, I'm gonna make a different video like that. I saw, like, things that have changed in my life since I stopped drinking. And again, this is not gonna be an anti-alcohol channel, don't worry, but I do have a couple video ideas for this. And this is my own personal story. Again, I'm not saying stop drinking. You do you. I don't begrudge you drinking. I don't begrudge 2012 to 2017 me drinking. He had a good run. I just wanted to give you something to think about in terms of if you are like me and you were thinking, you know, alcohol just isn't working for me anymore, but I don't see myself really going to AA, or I don't see myself going to rehab or making a big deal out of it, or I don't even know if do I need to hit a rock bottom? What's rock bottom? Like what all that stuff. And if you're taking that quiz, am I binge drinking? How many drinks is too many? Or if you put yourself in a situation where alcohol really had a negative impact on your behavior, read the book. Read the book. I did say to someone though, don't read the book unless you really want to stop drinking, because it's a really powerful book. There is also a book to quit smoking, The Easy Way to Quit Smoking. It's the same model. So again, I'm not being paid to endorse this book. The author is dead. I don't know anything about it other than it was recommended to me. I read it and it changed my life. And I just sat there reading the book smiling and like, yep, I get it. I needed to hear this, yep. And again, I had done a lot of work to get to that point. So if I had read this book in 2015, probably definitely would not have helped me. You know what I'm saying? That's like when you say, oh, I'm gonna quit smoking, but you gotta quit for the right reasons and you really gotta wanna do it, because otherwise you're just gonna go back to it. Like I was so ready to stop, and so I stopped. And happy non-drinker. Oh, I love that. The semantics of that just hits my brain in the right spot. So anyway, I think that's all. I just wanted to share a really nice story with you, and I hope I'm sorry for being so self-indulgent about it. Like, oh, good job, you stopped drinking. The quality of your life is so improved. You read a fucking book. Good job, idiot. But no, it's a really exciting time in my life, and everything is very clear, and I am very proud of myself. I didn't know if I would use that word, because like a couple weeks ago, I was thinking it really wasn't a big deal, because it didn't feel like a big deal, because it was so easy to stop. And then now, I do feel proud, because I'm seeing so much wonderful result of the action I've taken by stopping drinking. So, yeah. So that's it. And you're not gonna see a video in a year. I fell off the wagon. I'm not gonna drink. So yeah, so that's all. Read the book, listen to the podcast, stay tuned for more videos about this, and I don't even know if I'm gonna post this now, because I'll post it. Okay. Yeah, I'll post it. Okay, have a great day. And I am a life coach. If you are looking for a life coach, by all means, email me, buckhollywood.com. I would love to work with you. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, I'm showing up for my clients. Like, it's different. Like, when you're making YouTube videos, you can drink and be hungover and be like, here I am making a video. It's totally. But when you're a life coach and you're sitting down and being present with people and changing their lives, you want to be 100% present for that awesomeness. Okay, I gotta go. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here, and thanks for indulging me in a little story time. Why I stopped drinking. Mwah!